My name is Wallace Johnson. I'm a member of New Life World Outreach, and this is my testimony. Today I'm giving my testimony on how I became a member of New Life World Outreach. My sister, she came to me first, probably I want to say maybe 5 years ago, and she always was telling me about this church that she goes to. I told her I would visit one day. Eventually, that one day never came at first. She kept on asking me. I didn't go. Shamika wanted to go before I did. And she asked me to go with her one day. And I went. And when I went, I heard Pastor Patterson. I call him Dad now, which is something that I've never done before. I mean, he say that. And it took a lot for me to call another man Dad or look at him as a father. But I do look at him as a father, and I do respect him as a dad because he's that type of person. For those that don't know him, when you do get to know him, you will see somebody that's genuine. And for a young man, as myself, meeting somebody and hearing somebody that's of the word and lives the word and is about the word and that's been the same or similar lifestyle I used to live and sometimes still partake in, he touched me, and I felt like that was the reason why I wanted to and became a member of New Life World Outreach. Giving a little history about me, my sister, for those that don't know, she's an active member of the church. Her name is Augustina. Everybody else knows her by Delta. I have my mother, my father, just the four of us. My father, he had a stroke about 5 years ago, and me, my mother, my sister, we do our best to get together and we hold him down collectively. I'm a member, but I'm more or less, truthfully speaking, a wayward member. Like I got one foot in, one foot out. Just being honest. This is nothing that was talked about or rehearsed. I'm just being honest with y'all and being truthful. I'm telling y'all what's going on with me in my life. When I first came to New Life World Outreach, I was still partaking in living a worldly life, but I was still fighting the battle for myself spiritually because I knew that I wanted to become, and I am going to become, a man of God. But the devil had a hold on me so tight to where it was hard for me to figure out how to let go. And so I was still doing things of the world. I caught a case when I first started coming to New Life actively, and I was going back and forth to church, and I was asking the pastor and the elders to pray for me. They used to always ask me, "What do you want? What do you want?" And I never really understood exactly what they were saying because I was asking them to pray for me for everybody else, but I wasn't asking them to pray for me for myself. So that's what they kept on asking me, what did I want? But eventually, as the time kept on going by, Dad, gave me instructions on what to do, told me how to pray, showed me how to pray, and then meditate on the word and understand the word and have the word embedded inside of me. So the only thing I knew of the word was Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean on thy understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So every time I went to court, that's what I said. That's what I knew. And this was, I can honestly say, the first time I actually seen God work, like physically seen God's work with my own two eyes and experienced it when I was physically there, was when I went to court that day. I woke up that morning, I did my prayers, I did my fast, and it's like God arranged everything the way he wanted to arrange it. And that's the way God works. For those that don't know how to understand, when he comes to you, how he comes. And this is how he came to me. He made sure that I had it pretty much planned out the way I wanted to do it, but he did it the way he wanted to do it. He made sure that it went the way he wanted it to go. In my mind, okay, I'm going to wake up early, get it quiet, be there at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to be there about 8:30, 8:45, because I had to, mind you, my father's in a wheelchair. I had to put him in his wheelchair and bring him upstairs to go to court with me because we couldn't leave him at home. So it was me, my mother, and my father. It didn't work out that way. We wound up being late. Not that much late, but because there was so much traffic and then fighting for parking and stuff like that. Make a long story short, my lawyer called me while I was parking the car, and I told her, listen, I'm coming up right now. I get my dad situated. We're in a wheelchair, and we're coming upstairs. She had the judge wait for me, and we got upstairs. I already knew if the police officer was there, it was pretty much open and shut case. They're going to go with the police officer, and whatever I have to say, they're not going to go by that. But he was there. Actually, it was two of them, and they both was there. But it was one that needed to speak. So when they called my name, as soon as I walked in the door, they called my name. The first person I seen was the police officer. I didn't let it distract me. It didn't scare me at all. Every other time I went to court, I was nervous, but this particular time I wasn't. But like I said, I kept on repeating Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 in my head over and over and over again. So the judge called my name. I stepped up to the podium, and she spoke to the state attorney, and she asked the state attorney, okay, are y'all ready to proceed in the case? And the state attorney said, well, not right now, Your Honor. We need a minute or two. She's like, what do you mean? Like, this case has been going on for so long, we need to proceed. So they didn't. They tried their best to try to prolong it, but the judge was not going for it. She was like, we need to proceed. We need to figure out what we're going to do in this case, or I'm going to actually close the case. So the state attorney started asking for, they was calling the police officer's name. Now, I'm looking at the police officer look at me. As they're calling his name, he's not answering. He's just sitting right there. They called his name again, called his badge number, and he's sitting right there in front of me, and I'm watching him. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, but he never answered. And from that point right there, I had a feeling that came upon me, because I already knew that it was like it was a burden or a big, as if I was carrying a boulder and it was just lifted up off me. I already knew the sense of relief was coming. And the judge was like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to prolong the case, or what are you going to do? And the state attorney, her supervisor, was there, and he was like, well, do what you got to do. So she went ahead and she dismissed the case. And as we was leaving, the same police officer that did not speak up, he held the door before me, and he told me something on the way going out. I told him thank you, and on the way going out, he said, you're welcome. He said, but just continue doing what you're doing. I understood what he said then, but yet and still, like I said, me, myself, living a worldly life, still living with one foot in, one foot out, not actually surrendering myself to what God had in store for me, and still trying to live the world and be in the world. I heard him, but I didn't hear him, because I still wind up doing things I had no business doing. So that was like about a year and a half ago. And I asked God then if he showed me that he was real, that I would never drink again, and that I'll stay to the word. I pretty much did the majority of it, but I still didn't understand or know how to deal with how Satan was going to come at me differently now that he couldn't come at me through the bottle, which was drinking. To make a long story short, I know it's timely, but what happened with me was I was still, like I said, living a worldly life. And behind me living a worldly life, I want to get in trouble again. And God being the God that he is, 21 days, they dismissed the case. So, okay, no problem. Thank God again. Still was doing what I was doing. Going to church, trying to leave the worldly life alone. But one thing I know and I learned about Satan, when Satan sees that you're trying to do something right for yourself, and you're trying to live for God and do things right, when you finally make your mind up that, listen, I'm going to do right, I'm going to leave everything alone, I'm going to be open, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be truthful on the things that I say and the things that I do, he's going to find certain ways to come at you. And that's what he did with me. when I came to that turning point where I said, okay, I'm at a fork in the road. I can either go right, I can go straight, or I can go left. But whichever way I choose to go, I need to choose the way of God. That's what I told myself. And I asked God to help me. And He told me the first thing you need to do is start to be honest. So that's when I said, okay, I'm going to do that. I went to Shamika and told Shamika, I said, listen, this is what I've been doing. This is what, these are the lies that I told. This is my dishonesty on this. This is my unfaithfulness on this. I'm pretty much honest about everything that I was doing, and she probably had a blind eye to, or she probably had an idea wasn't certain of. And I was just being honest with myself, and then being honest with the one that I love. And at the time, she was still pregnant with our baby. The very next day, I got indicted from the feds for a case that got dismissed in state. For that same case, I have to leave on November 29th and do 26 months behind a case that got dismissed in the state. But the federal institution picked it up because that's how it worked. Again, like I said, this is nothing that was rehearsed, nothing that was spoken about, and I'm just putting it on the table. I'm saying all this to say this, that when you say you're going to be a person of God, you can't play. You have to be that person of God. And if you don't, that protection of head that He has around you, and you're doing other things, He's going to take that protection of head off of you and let Satan do what he wants to do. He's not going to let him kill you, just like in the book of Job. He's not going to let him kill you, but He's going to let him test you. And it's up to you on how you turn around after that. Because He was still with me, and He had everything already planned and lined up how He wanted to be lined up. Because when I caught my case, I was at like I said, I was to the turning point to where I didn't want to do no more wrong. So whatever money that I had, that was gone. So when I caught my case, it's like I didn't have no money to bond out, and they gave me a NLWO bond. A NLWO bond is when you have to present and show where the money comes from when you bond yourself out. They gave me a certain amount to bond out on, which I had to produce where the money came from, how we obtain the money. When I caught my case, 2 days before I caught the case, before they indicted me, I got in an accident, totally lost my mother's car. That's the money that we use, and it's like God prepared everything. It's like on a Monday, got in an accident. Wednesday, they indicted me. Friday, they gave me the bond. Monday, the check was available. Monday, I got bonded out. It's like he had everything already lined up to where I'm gonna let you go through this for a little phase, but I'm gonna put you out. Well, you can be out to see your blessing, which is my baby, your kid. I love her to death. And even after that, when I went to court on June the 1st, he granted me a stay, which my lawyer said it. The state prosecutor said it. That the judge that I have, he doesn't do that. When it comes time to sentencing, he sentences you. You have to go and do what you got to do. But he granted me a stay and gave me. He only asked for 30 days. He gave me 2 months. He gave me a 60-day stay to stay longer if I could be out for my baby, watch my baby, and do the things that I do as far as getting myself together and prepared to go in and do my time. I have to go in on November 29th. And Dad was there. He came. I know Mom would have been there too, but she had things she had to do. But Dad came in. He tried to speak on my behalf, but the judge wouldn't let him because he already wrote a letter prior for me. So anybody that wrote a letter, he wouldn't let them speak in open court. But Dad was so persistent and so I guess persistence is the best word I could use. He was so persistent on trying to say what he had to say in order, to do what he could do for me. The judge told him to sit down. He didn't sit down. He stayed standing up. Like he was just persistent. He tried to say what he had to say, but I guess his presence and my family member's presence, them being there to support me, and then me speaking up on my own behalf, and the judge, God touching the judge's heart, because I asked him to on the way going, he touched the judge's heart, and give me, a chance to be there for my baby as she was born, so I could be there for a little bit to help she could, get things prepared for her and stuff like that. Which he did that. He did everything I asked him to and more. Like I said, I only asked for 30, he gave me 60. And like I said, the reason why I'm giving my testimony because it's true, and I'm hoping that the testimony I'm giving can help somebody else. That's my goal. My goal is to help people that's been in the same situation or may have the denial or the doubt in their mind, like I did at first, like about how pastors are or how church people are and this and that. That was me. Like, oh, they always about the money. I was that person. That was me. Oh, it's about money. I don't need to go to church. My church is for me. My temple is for me. I don't have to go to church to hear the word. That was me. I was one of the people. But it's not like that. I mean, because if you have a pastor like the pastor that we have, you're truly blessed. Because the reason why I say you're blessed is because you have a person that's going to be there for you physically, spiritually, and mentally. Like I said, he's going to be there for you. He will be there for you through thick and thin. Where the versus other pastors, and knowing from experience, not on our own personal experience, but knowing from wisdom from other people's experience, they'll, like in my situation, they probably would have been like cut ties or turn their back on me, because of the things like, okay, he's trying to help me and I'm still doing me. But that's not that. Dad, he's going to be there for you through thick and thin until you show him that you're not going to be there for yourself. And as long as you're showing him that you're trying, he's going to do what he can do for you. And, that's the type of person that I think everybody needs in their life. And you can't find that from everybody. And I really appreciate him. And, that's my testimony. I'm going to do what I have to do. One thing I ask is for prayers. I'm home early, and I'll be right back to y'all, family. That's me.